As you get fatigued, you don't just lose speed and power, but your mechanics also start to change. So one study found that even after athletes were fatigued, they were actually able to maintain their acceleration, but they did this by reorganizing how they moved. So their posture actually got a little bit more upright, their ground contacts got longer, vertical impulse went up, and hip flexion and extension velocities dropped. Essentially, the contribution from the hips, the glutes, and the hamstrings started to fade a little bit, and power and positive joint work shifted more from the hip to the knee while the ankle stayed somewhat the same. The body is amazing at compensating, and it's always going to find a way to get things done. Another study showed that under fatigue, horizontal force production became less efficient, and the hamstrings stopped playing the same role that they do when they're typically fresh. Once again, the body adjusts, shifting the contribution to preserve speed and potentially protect the fatigued hamstrings. And another interesting analysis actually showed that the adaptations weren't the same for all athletes. So what they noticed was that some athletes actually reduced theoretical hamstring strain under fatigue, while others actually increased it. So this is all based on how each athlete organizes movement once fatigue starts to set in. So when you're programming speed and conditioning, you can't just treat fatigue as one variable. It changes the entire mechanical strategy: posture, force direction, joint contribution, and potentially even injury risk. So this is why you don't just chase fatigue for the sake of it. You want to manage it. You want enough exposure to build resilience, but not so much that mechanical efficiency starts to fall apart. So the goal isn't to necessarily just always avoid fatigue, but is to understand how your athletes adapt to it, to build resilience, to control when and how that starts to happen. So we have to understand what we're training for, you have to understand who you're training, and you have to understand how to get the desired effect with your programming.